She didn't belong in Rome. Everyone told her that. Everyone except the shadows. Rome was loud. Its streets thundering with chariot wheels. Its taverns reeking with stale sweat and spilled wine. Its marketplaces filled with bartering shouts. But she found solace in the shadows because that's where she could listen. Listen to the empire's pulse. Listen to its hopes and fears. Listen to the men planning its future. Men who thought she wasn't listening. They dragged her away from the sunrise and dropped her into this murky pit. In the dim lamplight, faces twisted into grimaces. She'd been here before, many times, but tonight was different. This fight wasn't about politics, it was personal. Two men stood in the center of the circle, their shadows stretching and contorting. "How dare you defy me?" One of them snarled, his face red with anger. "I have held your father's shield when he lay dying. Who are you to defy me?" "You forget who freed your family from the mines," the other hissed back. "My father worked in chains. My sister sold in taverns. It was I who bought them freedom. Now I will buy the freedom of Rome." The first man laughed, a harsh sound. "Rome belongs to the strong, not to the likes of you. A low-born street rat." "Street rat," the other spat, stepping forward. "Yes, I am a child of the streets, but I know more about Rome than you ever will. I see what you are, all of you, plotting and scheming like rats in the walls. You care nothing for the people, only for yourselves." He moved like a shadow, dodging the first man's flailing arm, darting closer to the lamp, casting his features in a stronger light. She saw his eyes flashing, not with ambition or greed, but with an uncheckable conviction. And she knew, just knew, that those words weren't just some street bravado. They were the truth. When they finally left, she emerged from the shadows. The tavern owner looked up, startled. "Still here?" he asked incredulously. "I thought you'd be gone by now." "Gone," she echoed, surprised by her own voice. "To join your friends, the assassins," he said bitterly. "Who do you really belong to? Girl, do you plan to poison my wine, too?" She shook her head, her gaze fixed on the door the men had left by. "No," she whispered, "I don't want to kill you." The tavern owner snorted, turning back to his mugs. "Then get out of here before I change my mind." But she didn't move. She couldn't. His words echoed in her mind, stirring something inside her, something that had been dormant for years. His words cut through the layers of caution, doubt, fear that had encased her heart. His name, she realized, she remembered his name. Gaius Lucilius. His parents were simple folk, barely scraping by, yet he dreamed of a better Rome, a Rome for all, not just the privileged few. His father died in a mining accident, leaving his mother and younger sister in dire straits. Without a male head of the house, his mother was forced into a loveless marriage to a grizzled old veteran, and young Lucia became the new family provider. He'd started small, stealing coins from vendors, loaves of bread from bakers, fish from fishmongers. Soon, his exploits grew bolder, robbing stagecoaches, intimidating merchants, even preying on fellow urchins. But amidst the darkness, there was always a flicker of light, a glimmer of humanity. He never stole from the truly needy. And when he led his gang of street kids in daring raids on taverns owned by corrupt officials, he liberated their meager earnings. As she walked deeper into the labyrinth in streets, her steps faltered. All these months spent unraveling the threads of conspiracies, gathering intelligence, maneuvering in the shadows, had taken their toll. She missed the sun on her skin, the wind in her hair, the feel of earth beneath her feet. Most of all, she longed for laughter, for the camaraderie of friends, for the warmth of true acceptance. How could he, a mere street urchin, have known what she was destined for? How could he have believed that she, a slave, could become something more, someone more? Her journey had been long and treacherous. Born into slavery, her early life was a blur of pain and misery. Sold and resold, she endured unimaginable hardships until she reached Rome, where she was purchased by a senator and transformed into a tool of political intrigue. But it was in the emperor's court that her fate truly shifted. Whispers became her weapon, secrets her armor. She navigated the treacherous world of imperial politics, surviving on her wit and cunning. Now, cloaked in finery, she stood on the precipice of power. Yet her past haunted her, reminding her that without connections or allies, she was nothing. Even in the heart of the bustling empire, she remained an outsider. Tonight, though, things felt different. The familiar ache in her chest intensified. How could she have not noticed his feelings for her? His trust, his unwavering support. Did he really believe that she cared for him? Or was it the hope in his eyes, the reflection of his dreams that she had mistaken for love? Hadn't she read the signs? Hadn't she seen the way people reacted to his presence? His speeches drew crowds, not just of the common folk, but of influential senators and ambitious generals. His charisma and convictions resonated with people from all walks of life. And then there were the whispers, rumors that spread like wildfire through the city. Rumors of Gaius Lucius, the street kid, who could charm the stars from the sky, who spoke with such passion and conviction that people forgot their woes and marched alongside him ready to tear down the old order and build a new one. Yet somehow she'd been blind, or perhaps she'd simply refused to see it because the thought of losing him had been unbearable. Suddenly, a hand clamped onto her shoulder, spinning her around. The scowling face of one of the Emperor's guards loomed over her. "You come with me," he barked, pulling her toward the imperial palace. She resisted, but he was strong. He dragged her through the moonlit streets, past sleeping sentries and darkened doorways, deeper into the heart of the city. The palace was a looming silhouette against the night sky, its windows like vacant eyes staring into her soul. Inside, the corridors were dimly lit by flickering torches, casting dancing shadows that seemed to mock her. The Emperor sat on a gilded throne, his face pale and drawn in the flickering candle light. His eyes, usually ablaze with vitality, were dull and distant, as if he had already checked out of life. "Why did you send for me?" she asked quietly, her voice echoing in the vast hall. The Emperor waved a hand, dismissing the courtiers, who immediately scurried away, leaving her alone with her master. "Come closer," he rasped. "I need to show you something." He rose slowly, leaning heavily on her for support. As they moved, she caught glimpses of faded grandeur, of a once vibrant ruler turned recluse. Reaching a secluded alcove, he gestured to a crystal ball resting on a velvet cushion. Its surface shimmered with an eerie glow. "Look," the Emperor whispered, his voice hoarse. She peered into the swirling mist, searching for meaning in the chaotic shapes. And then she saw him, Gaius Lucius, standing at the center of a crowd, his arms raised in the air, his face filled with righteous anger. Around him, the citizens of Rome surged like a tide, their voices rising in unison, chanting his name, calling for change, for justice, for a new Rome. She turned to the Emperor, her eyes wide with dawning realization. He had summoned her not just to spy on her former lover, but to reveal the heart of Rome's disaffection. It was a warning, a desperate attempt to show her what she had overlooked. In her quest to secure their shared future, she had failed to see the signs, the rumblings of discontent, the growing unrest among the people, but it was too late now. The die was cast, the plot had unfolded, there was no going back. As she made her way through the shadowed corridors, the Emperor's warning echoing in her ears, she realized that she wasn't just a pawn in a game of thrones. She was a catalyst for change, whether she liked it or not. The city streets were alive with energy, the sounds of daily life blending with the murmur of conspiracy. She blended into the throng, her senses heightened, her resolve hardening. She had choices to make, decisions that would shape not just her destiny, but the fate of Rome itself. The echo of the Emperor's fading voice spurred her on, urging her to embrace her role in the unfolding drama. In the heart of the sprawling empire, a new chapter was beginning, a chapter that would test her loyalty, her courage and her love for the man who had shown her the true face of Rome.